Hey, welcome back everyone to Module 9, Lesson 1. We're going to talk about recognizing the right time to scale your business. This is going to be so important that you recognize this time. So one of the first things that I looked at always when I went into business, each business that I've owned that I've scaled to over 7 figures, is I looked at this one factor is, am I ready to hire my first employee? Am I ready to hire my second employee? I looked at, am I so busy where I can't do the work anymore by myself, or I'm having to work 12, 14, 16, 18 hours a day just to keep things going, when I could have easily hired an employee and allowed me to lessen my workload, add some workload to somebody else, and then I can do the same thing. So what I would do is I would say, well, I'm going to hire let's say you start a service business, you're going to hire a tech to work along with you. And then what you're going to focus on is you're going to focus on getting that person so busy where you can still do your part and they're doing their part only. Then what you want is you want to duplicate that same thing over and over and over as you build and grow your business. So we always found that if we had 3 service technicians, we would need at least one person in the office to answer the phones, to manage the phones. We preferred to have an office manager versus just a CSR. We always started with an office manager because it was easier to start with someone to help build the business out versus starting with someone we couldn't build around. We're just trying to do everything still, but the office manager is going to allow us to build the business where you as an owner could focus on growing the business. The office manager is focusing on building the systems and putting those in place under your direction. And then they're able to manage the people under them, which are maybe the technicians. Then if you want to add 2 more technicians, and then you want to add another person in the office, someone else to help answer the phones. So it's the same process as you go through. You're recognizing, do I have enough work to justify the expense of hiring somebody else? And then when you hire somebody else, you're going to have to ask yourself, do I have enough leads coming in to justify the need to hire somebody else? Can I keep them busy the whole time? And are we pricing our business correctly to where we can afford to do this? Remember, when we started this whole thing, we talked about this. Make sure you price your business where you want to be, not where you are at the moment. Price it to where your future is going to be, not where you want to be or where you're at the very moment. So recognizing the right time to scale is when you're so busy, you can't do it on your own, add an employee. When they're so busy, you guys both can't do it on your own, add an employee. Start looking at building a business that requires systems, that requires processes, requires automation. You want to keep this simple. And I think this is so important to remember this. Everything you do from this point forward is going to be a direct reflection of your ability to delegate things out to other people. If you can't delegate things out to other people, you'll never scale a business. I can assure you of that. You've got to be willing to let go of the reins a little bit and realize that people are going to screw up. They're going to make bad decisions. They're going to do things that maybe you would have never done. And this is part of the training process. You're going to train them on how to become the best version of what you want in that position specifically. And you can hire those things where they're already really good at what you want. And it makes it a heck of a lot easier, especially if you can afford to do that financially. It's going to make things so much easier for you as the owner of that business. So recognize the right time. Do I have enough work to justify hiring my first employee, my second employee, my third employee? And then as I grow, you can say, okay, well, I need this many employees. Now you can intentionally create growth because you know what you need to create in order to be able to hire the next one, the next one, the next one. Because maybe you're hiring over here, but you need to hire over here as well to offset this, to make sure these can flow efficiently. That's going to be the key. You want to make sure that you can absolutely create it as you go. That's going to be the key to your success in your business. I can't wait to see you guys in the next lesson. Learn to scale your business, and I promise you, you'll be happy that you did in the future.